he definitely made the most of it.
They never expect the second player to swing alone.
But listen, if there's anyone that could win a 1v2 right now for GX, it is Westside. He is white hot.
Arkrose confirms no presence in the site after the fact. Westside has pulled back now, though, giving this position away. Smoke thrown up here. Bang will be waiting within its depths now. Zelsis already got it to half, and Westside gets a frosty reception when he ducks in. Sentinels after a rocky start. 3v5 at one point. Able to take a second half pistol.
That is such an outrageous series of kills from John. The second one, the adjustment to the jump connects the instant headshot. That is sick.
Ara literally jumped to try and allow the other player to swing in. Maybe the spacing could be looked at there for GX, but it's hard to feel like they did anything really wrong there.
Idea's not totally aligned there. I mean, if Ara just swings out normal, he might have just gotten the instant trade. So fundamentals a miss, and John hits some unreal shots to exploit it.
Classic Sen move here. The force into heavy stingers after winning the pistol. Something that sort of changes the dynamic of the bonus round quite drastically, but allows them to buy up pretty healthily.
The Sen have absolutely loved doing this. They just have the one Bulldog for Bang who's posted up towards A main.
See it on this map a lot from them as well. Even on the attack side if they actually win that pistol.
Yeah, it is typically on attack that they've favored this buy. Couple sheriffs for GX, see if they can get anything accomplished here.
Zekken very far forward, but this is being checked for. This is about to be ugly. Oh my goodness, the rate bails him out. Zekken has the wherewithal to pull out the classic and go for some right clicks. Oh yeah, classic NA sting around, I suppose. For those unaware, that's a thing.
And then when you lose the stingers, it's well, it's not too bad. It's not the biggest hit to the economy. You can just buy more stingers, so you're fine. That is the North American way.
Hailing from the land of plenty. Just buy more stingers. Great setup here for Narrate, though. It ends up being a crossfire as GX know. They know Zekken is in that corner. They look to dig him out, but expose himself to that off angle. Not even Ara can bail them out.
Well, let's see what the plan is here from Sen. They are going to make a pretty fast approach down mid, it seems. As GX work both of the extremities.
How much longer can they take this early mid-control when we start to play the spam game? That's my question. Something they got owned by NRG on. With Brock just spraying them with an Odin.
One nice little benefit of playing the Yoru against Sen. You know that you're going to be able to use that clone to just trip the Vice wall. So that is immediately
super free.
Yeah, just off the map for Zelsis.
So change of tact here for GX. Flying off that B side of the map, which is far more loosely held. It is only John. My elbow now with a stinger, so not at his effective range. Likely would leave this open for retake.
Should have the molly for a little bit of stall, and Zekken is actually posting up towards that link. Dodges out the paranoia.
All right, in the site, Grabinho also TPing across, very much like Lotus here, as those two are able to get a bit further ahead. Into the site. Rotation coming back through. Spawn here for Sentinels, and a position taken up in tower. But remember, these are just stingers, with the exception of Bang's Bulldog.
There was really no opportunity for Sen to flood there. Players not in position. Zekken continually just smoked off. And now on the re-entry, they're going to have to deal with these thorns on the ground.
Yeah. And no steel garden, no nightfall, none of that sort of accoutrement, so to speak. In we go. Zekken up first, banged out as John and QT step in. No one to trade there for Ara, but yet it's Narrate with the Sheriff to step up. Cloud, you'd think would be dug out of this corner in a few moments. Economically, this is massive for Sentinels. A very cheap bonus with 3 stingers in play. And we're going to have a full retake on the B side.
Just a 5-on-5 full retake. Zekken gets a lot of distance with the fast lane up coming out of Blink there.
It's a backbreaker for GX.
And Grabinho just steps into the open to try and find the kill onto him, not expecting that a player would be right there. I mean, Bang gets an absolute free one on account of it. John out of his seat.
As you should be.
Yeah, what a round to win. Inflection point in this map. Yep. Honestly, this is where Sen might be able to just run away with the rest of the game.
And it's honestly an uncanny amount of these stinger bonuses we've seen Sentinels be successful on, even domestically. But able to have a proof of concept here and an international, gonna feel good for them. Again, they want that mid-control here, but they're being pinged out. It's actually Grabinho spotted by the horns. And an easy pickup for Zekken through all this smoke.
all the GX players, but just Sheriffs are caught in the corner. What on earth is that? Come on, man. That's not how the game is supposed to be played.
Give me that white ripper PvP,
That's not
bro.
how the game is supposed to be played, bro.
Baby. Oh my goodness. Tough round, of course, for GX to walk into. Knew they'd be unfavored economically.
This isn't what I thought the game would be when I was playing the
What happened to the game, I love?
That was devious.
But what is to stop
activity from Zekin?
What is to stop GX though from scouting out this early movement? Because they are thrusting down mid, right? In theory, you could spray them down. You've got a double controller competition of your own. Ping them out with your, your Fade Initiator. Surely that's an option here to answer this like early push-up.
Really, outside of a couple of those early fight rounds from GX, mid has belonged to Sen this entire game.
Kings of mid, as we call them in NA right now.
Mid is so critical on Corrode that is just going to continue to give them the upper hand throughout.
The joke, Rob Moore, please don't tweet at me. Obviously not the ending to stage they would have liked. And everyone expecting them to step up here. So far, not so shabby. The mid control, again, that GX does not contest in the early part of the round. They're really only interested in the extremities. So Zekin's gotten pretty deep.
Rotate now from GX over towards this A side. Have to pay attention to Aura, of course, with that dimensional drift. Can collect all of the info towards A. And if Cloud gets just one orb, we'll have the Nightfall as well. He has the spike right now, so maybe we'll see a scenario where this dimensional drift allows them to get the plant down, and then they can Nightfall to win out in the post-plant.
Ara in shot there, concealing surely a massive chin. Very chiseled. And beginning with the dimensional drift, and now sees the Nightfall come out. Cloud caught out of that timing. Looks like Ara's going to commit to the site, and he's sent packing by Bang, who'll happily occupy this pocket position and play off second where it even needed. Another three-piece for the young gun. Another flawless for Sentinels, the 2 rounds away from a map take.
This control of mid is, again, just so influential. The pace that Zekin is able to just get right over into this A site and fight off that Nightfall catches one. Look at the teleport from Bang. That's insane, the adjustment. I mean, we rightly so talked a lot about how good Westside was anchoring. Bang is also on the anchor, one of the absolute best.
And it looks like the cue there for Sentinels is the dimensional drift that comes in from Ara. They know he's close by, and they just windmill slam that Nightfall onto the attackers, catch them out. Timeout here for GX. They've not had any control this half. They've not won any rounds, of course. It started with their loss in the pistol, and then a very unlikely loss in their first gun round against the Triple Stinger Bulldog Sheriff by. They need to stabilize, they need to settle. It's moments like this that really put teams in international debuts to the test.
Down by 5 rounds. Every single player on Sen effectively money capped right now. They have ultimates to play with. The game is within Sen's hands to take. This first map, their pick of Corrode.
Coach Pipson just trying to re-establish what the parameters should be for this GX attack side. And maybe at some point, they've returned to trying to fight for mid a little bit. But they tried it once so far this half, and it caused Grabinho to get pinged out by a Horn and picked off instantly.
To be fair, that one time, that was just a buy where they had some lower weaponry, but they're just ignoring mid entirely again. They just want to hit this B site with the ultimates, it seems. Okay. Maybe some kind of cheeky Grabinho teleport behind with the Nightfall to cut off the audio.
Look, we've seen Ara get into that B site with a gate crash. There's been a TP forward. They can at least get their Omen and Yoru past that layer of stall util that we're seeing from John here. And you're right, Wyatt, you called it. Nightfall comes on in. They want to fight for this here. Razorvine already popped out on the side. Zekin is there already. And he has got an overdrive to work with. Straight through the pit he goes. He's ready to throw down. Spot that Grabinho. It's electrified from Zekin. High voltage warning should be on the label for this guy. Not quite the ace, but still, well, it's a show-stopping performance.
Bang cleans this up. 12 rounds for Sen, 1 away from the win. Again, it is just the pace that Zekin is coming into these sites to assist the team anchoring. These straight-up hits from GX are getting absolutely stomped into the ground because the anchors are arriving on time. What a that was top. Very cool as well. Zekin gets in, gets that first. I mean, this is beautiful play, but Again, it's this lack of any control of mid that is allowing Sen to just rotate so fast, flood in, support their anchors.
3 big ultimates up in that round for Sentinels, right? They've been sitting on those for quite a while. They've been getting a lot of kills, having a lot of success on this defense side. Far-Cry, from what we've seen domestically from them, looks like they've tightened the screws a little bit here. Horn does ping out Grabinho. Those stuck inside that corner. Aura's already gone down, and Zekken tries for a flamboyant slide across mid. Sentinels encouraged here to slow the pace down a little. Finally, they've given some mid control over.
And why not go for that if you're Zekken?
Here.
At this point, he's feeling himself.
Yeah, just a little bit of confidence. Flickless, unfortunately, peaks into 2 Sen players who've taken full A main control.
Oh, God!
Spike down A.
Well, Cloud gets onto A. Unfortunately, it's in a body bag and narrates. Slots in 4 to kick off Sentinel's campaign here in Paris. And a slow start, conservative. Looks like they really wanted to get their bearings early on Corrode, and then a perfect defense side to lock up the first map, 13-6.
That is an energizing open for the Sen City, who last we saw took a pretty tough loss in that lower bracket in Americas. They're bouncing right back.
Oh, gotta watch out there. It's a pretty NA biased test, but we're gonna go over and see what Yinsu and our experts have to say to break down this first map.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it. Listen, in line of me going to the other side and that huddle, I think we're winning the game.
Jordan's just on Giant X, and I'm like, wow.
Hey, we're going on Reddit one way or another. Don't care.
Esports World Cup, where we are starting off with Valorant.
If you want to win, you have to win against the best.
So looking for revenge.
There's the shorty. And Albion goes crazy.
They've all battled through the pressure and expectation. Heretics have come back all the way! Finally, we won. Finally.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Mika here, standing with Kaplan from Sentinels. Now, I know you guys didn't exactly end Stage 2 in NA the way you wanted to, but now we're feeling this renewed energy from Sentinels. Is it a new story here, and are they feeling all that energy because this is a global, this is a fresh new start for them?
Plenty of it is thanks to a global, thanks to champs. We're pumped, but it's also deliberate from the guys. You know, we walked away realizing our energy is a problem. We can be incredible if we choose to be, and they're choosing to be today.
And Hubert looking very healthy, very happy so far.
Yeah, I think he's lost a little weight. I might have to feed him some baguette. You know, gets a little hungry, but we'll see.
We'll see. To be continued. All right, thanks, Cap.
Thank you.
It's so nice to see Kaplan smile, but also welcome Cuba to the desk. How are we doing, Cuba?
I'm scared I'm going to knock him over and he'll have a tragic
Cuba, you want to
fall,
say
so-
anything?
Yeah.
No.
Based.
Put
Not a,
on the
man,
mic?
not a man of many words.
No? Yeah, I mean, he's just sitting there and looking pretty. It works. That's
He
his
does.
shtick.
I love the little Cuba. Mini Cuba is very, very cute. I also love the way the Sentinels were playing on Corrode. And speaking of, it's time for our Verizon high-speed moment. This one goes to John QT on the pistol round. I mean, this should have been, GX should have managed to close it out in a 5v3, surely.
Yeah, and this is coming in at a 6-6-half. It was close, and then John QT does this in a 5v3. They're down numbers after losing those early members, and he just crushes them. Like,
And I think we often talk about how pivotal pistols are in halves, given that we play MR12. Like, this is a nightmare. Start for GX to go that way in that pistol, and then obviously things continue to go off for them. Bang.
What a smoke.
Yeah, the smoke was perfect. It was essentially unwinnable for Westside there. I don't know how we could have played that any differently.
Honestly, after that 3K, I think everything Sen did in the rest of that round was perfect. You know, there's no fault. And I almost feel like I love his angle. Oh, he's so cute. I love Cuba.
the voices are telling me to punch him right now.
No, he's been through enough. He's just a little guy. He's been through enough. Leave him alone.
I didn't say I was going to do it.
Leave him alone.
I won't let this man hurt you.
Good.
I won't let this man hurt you.
Good, because I think you have to go through Doug and apparently Zekken if you want to get to Sen. Because
I'm not going to mess with Zekken.
No, and Doug, I don't think any of the GX players were messing with Zekken either, really.
No, and I will say this, Aura held up to him at the very beginning. I think he looked great, he looked competitive, but there were just so many situations where Zekken should not have been converting some of the multi-kills that he had. You think about the Visult mid in the first half where he walks away with 2-3 kills with the Classic, and then you think about all the ult kills he was getting as well, and obviously the ult is a little bit different, but Zekken played with confidence, he played decisively, and I think it's exactly what Sentinels needed.
And I think it was a big difference in those brawls, right? The big team fights there, 3-on-3s, 4-on-4s, when Zekken's on the front. He was just crushing on that front. And I think to R's credit, I think on the other side, I think when he was finding rounds where Sentinels were walking into him, he could actually find picks with the operator, but more often than not, he was being forced into a retake save, or Sentinels were seeing him and pivoting away and not letting him play.
Yeah, 6 out of 20 of his kills was his ult, by the way. That's insane. Absolutely love that from Zekken, but I want to hear what Coach Pipson had to say ahead of map 2.
Mika here once again, and I'm here right now with Pipson of Giant X. Now, that was a tough loss on the first map, but as I understand it, it's not exactly news for Giant X, and EMEA fans would know that map 1 loss is quite common, and usually this is because you guys need a little bit of time to iron things out. Sometimes it can be a comms issue that they get a little muddled, so I'm curious, was this the case in map 1 against Sentinels, or was it something else?
Oh yeah, it's definitely similar things to what happened to us in EMEA. So we talked right now. I hope that it will be the same like it was in EMEA, and second and third map will be much better than the first one was, and we are going to end up winning.
Well, good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
It's so nice to hear from Pipson on the global stage, but he is right. For those of you that don't know, GX have had this big issue all year, which is looking terrible on map 1, throwing 5v3s, 5v2s, 5v1 one time as well. And then map 2, they miraculously look amazing, and then they end up winning the series.
Is there like a real thing that changes, or is it
Yes.
just the map 2 glow up?
No, it's, I mean, you even heard it there from Pipson saying it's the same issues. They tend to over-communicate on map 1. They're very excited. They have too too much energy, and there's no one sort of getting on top and saying, guys, calm down, relax, which is funny because we know Grubby doesn't talk much, so probably just the other four screaming over each other a little bit. So I think now they've tasted what the stage is like, they can relax a little bit, they're going on to their map pick, and I am a big fan of their Sunset. I would love to know why they changed their comp on Corrode as well, but I don't anticipate them changing that much on Sunset.
Yeah,
you don't need to.
Yeah, you want to keep them playing the breach and whatnot. I honestly think like part of it might just be that when you're coming in, and again, there is so much footage going against you and knowing there's going to be a lot of anti, like coming in with a different idea. I think a lot of teams will usually try to do this to just not be so readable coming into the event, but clearly Sentinels on their comfort zone of Corrode, that wasn't going to be a help for them.
And I'm curious to see, if there are any changes, since you mentioned that you want them to kind of keep it to their standard.
This is what I wanted to see.
The Neon, Breach, Sentinels are going to be running a bit of the same, and so a lot of this then goes to me around how are you going to layer some of that utility. We're going to see B main traps, we're going to see A main traps, particularly on the defensive side. I think this lends into some of that chaos into that you were talking about prior to the series starting, where this does kind of favor Giants a bit.
Yeah, it does indeed, but we're still talking about Sen, right, at the end of the day. And if you look at it on the other side, this is almost best in slot. They're so comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And again, to me, my eyes just keep heading towards Zekin, because I think he plays such an active game on the Neon, obviously on the attack side too, but you have to be very worried for what he does in mid, especially on the defensive side. Giant X need to be able to shut him down on those walks to tiles or the boosts up just on that mid ledge on the right side.
Yeah, and I know Grubby didn't have the best start on map 1, but he is an absolute menace on the defense sometimes here. His paranoia timings are fantastic. He's not afraid to get aggressive as well. I'm sure Sen's going to know this, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to be able to abuse this as well, because Sen, Uber and Y on the verge of starting their champs run with a 2-0.
I'm sure Yinsu, they'll be very pleased with that. But, yeah, we're aware of the narrative of, GX struggling a little bit at the start of the series, although if you watch the Fnatic game, you wouldn't be aware of it. Sentinels, however, going to a map like Sunset, which, by the way, obviously great map for GX. It's probably their home map. They looked excellent here. We kind of thought Sentinels would too this year, right? In 2024, this was absolutely one of their go-tos. It looked fantastic, and it made its way back into the map pool when Toronto kicked off. And we did not see that same level from Sentinels here on Sunset, and since then, they've not really made it their own yet, I feel.
Yeah, they've been very mixed in terms of the results here. GX, however, have not been mixed. They've only lost this map twice, both times to Liquid,
right? Yeah.
And outside of that, they have 5 wins on it. This is absolutely their best look. We're getting Westside on that Cypher where he thrives right now on the B anchor. A lot of damage through onto Bang. Gonna need some support. Going to need a flood.
I think they know where Westside is right now. And look at this. They've inserted Zekin onto the site. The rest of Sentinels have actually pulled out. Zekin might have an opportunity here to really ruffle some feathers. And it all really remains to be seen on what the landscape looks like as this dark cover clears. He'll stay tucked in. Re-smoked to B main, and Cloud diligently is looking to clear this corner very carefully, but Zekin is not looking towards his left at all, just kind of hedges on the right side. However, Grabinho flattened it A, run over by Sentinels, who now can accelerate into the site and start to set up for a post-1.
Unfortunate that GX lose a player immediately after. That was some nice awareness from Cloud to pick off Zekin, the initial first kill. Zelsis ready to flash, maybe to fight towards spawn, but no, Sen going to call that off.
Because of the one-way, likely.
He's just playing right now with that fault line towards Link when GX try to get back in here. They do have a good amount of breach util of their own to do so.
Zelsis still holding onto it. Veins starting to emerge on his forehead now. Patience, patience, and release. It's onto the site now. Ara the only player in, though, and it's staggering. The spacing of players has really thrown Sen for a loop. The narrates some sharp shooting. It's just not remotely enough. And in a 4v4 retake, GX looks sharp.
GX are really fantastic at playing around their breach utility on this map. This is still the map in the pool where breach is very much so relevant. It's the only map in the pool where breach actually has a above 50% win rate against non-breach comps. So it makes sense that both teams are playing it here.
Good up, Ara, nice.
Zelsis swings from that box on A side, expecting there to be more players behind Ara. But actually GX slow things down. Ara goes ahead, and they've still got 2 players tucked on Link, who later emerge, and the timing completely throws them off. Also, Ara just knocks heads together on the site. 3 kills for him.
It's a map, by the way, if you haven't seen Sen for a bit, where John is back to playing the Cypher, just straight up one-to-one swapping with Zelsis, who's now picking up that initiator, playing the breach. This is something that Sen have opted for since Toronto, going back to John's old role where he had so much success in 2024.
Oh, okay, and a rare miss from Ara there. Actually allows for some of the mid-control to be assumed by Sentinels. They are, of course, on nothing but the classics.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to make any investment after losing the pistol when you know you're going up against Aura on defense. 100% of the time he's going to have the
that full armor.
Yeah, you need the full armor every single time you're going into that initial buy round.
Flickless here inside the site. This is awkward. Very awkward. Flickless able to get through though. Zekin for a moment. Thinking to remain towards top mid, but now it's going to be a large flood across here into market. West side not able to find anyone. Some damage on Delson, but the looks of things, and Zekin takes the fight to him like a bat out of hell. It ends up being a traded backside. West side for one, but John gets in there with the classic. Flickless overwhelmed. Sentinels running in numbers. And Acrobino with the Bulldog has to salvage the situation.
Cloud only has the Ghost right now. Probably can't recover. A gun goes in. Zelsis just
not
ready
good
for that.
Here's Grubby though. A little more than a one. Much needed, and Sentinels on nothing but classics. Once again, shilling the bundle. Get that top mid control and go mark it very quick.
The GX players just not synced up at all here. Aura is caught in alone. Westside spent a bunch of time just spamming through that cage that was thrown in market so Sen could cross the site. So he's a little bit late to getting in to actually help Aura, who fully commits, stays, tries to kill Zekin on the slide.
For no reason. I didn't even yell at them. I didn't even.
And from there, I mean, GX, they just really mistime their players coming into flood and assist. They're essentially all isolated in ones.
I don't hate this position from Cloud. It's so dirty. Zekin walks up into it. And so GX will take their pint of blood early in the round. Nicely done by Westside.
Stunning shot.
And this is GX for you. So active in these early rounds. So proactive. Looking to work the map. Push up for info. Take risks. And it's given them the edge. Even if not the rifle drop there in B main.
Now Westside hears all of these players running forward. Catches one with the cam. GX are trying to be fast on this. Rotate. And Celsius isolated. That relay bolt forced narrate back or he would have been caught.
Frustrating for Zelsis. He certainly would have felt stranded there. As the rest of Sentinels pulled the plug. Now have to try and work the map with only 2 players up. Narrate considering a double back here. Someone who's been very vocal, Wyatt, in saying that when he can contribute more to the ideas of this team, he feels like the game goes better, but he struggles when he's not performing well to have that voice.
Aura takes this contact. But that haunt ensures that Westside's position, I think, will be revealed. I couldn't tell actually if he broke that, if it was Flickless. Regardless, Sen do not want to get into that B site. They know there are multiple players there. Yeah, but what options do they have?
They've had no mid control at all, and Gravino is able to scope up in time to deal with John. And simply, he will pull back now towards the middle of the map. Oh, nice little angle there held by Gravino. A fantastic thrifty from GX. And again, Sentinels try the same thing, burst the pace onto that B site, but very heavily disrupted by the breach util of Flickless.
They're able to, I think, throw the guns around at the very end there too. Maybe get Flickless one? I couldn't tell. They were trying their best to recover all the weapons though. That was a great relay bolt from Aura, who was getting in to assist Westside so fast on that rotate.
Oh, we lost against Eco.
Can't blame the guy for being pleased about that. It feels like it's so hard to get bored.
Give it back to Zelsis a little bit. He stood up for there, Eco.
But he didn't know what to say, really, did he? He just sort of stood up. Gravino, wow, they're having problems standing on their feet right now, Sentinels. Cut down aggressively. Gravino's able to push up here, and Flickless can only go 1 for 1. Still, the Sentinels committing all of their remaining resources to that elbow part of the map. It'll leave Zelsis limping away with a recovered Phantom and 8 in the chamber.
Nice shot from Cloud. Very quick with that reaction. Sen just go for the NA Stinger Rush, but GX a little bit too stacked up towards elbow with the much better weaponry. They make light work of that.
That's how it looked off the rip. The ping is very good. It's a freebie for Gravino. Shoot the dart, boys!
No one ready for that one.
Navigates all of that util pretty effectively.
Yo, shield down, sit down.
What was the first one? Shield down?
No, a little sit
Shield
down.
Shield down.
A little sit down. Sen, all right, well, we're getting into mid pretty quick. R's been able to pick up that operator quite early. And the buy for Sen honestly isn't great because they committed a fair amount into that Stinger round. They didn't get kills. They didn't, only a couple. They don't get the plant, obviously. So the armor, not ideal. Bang with just the Guardian.
And on Corrode, as soon as they knew that Ara had an operator, they stopped playing his part of the map. They avoided him entirely. This time, no, not the case. They've got the Neon, of course, who can take this space aggressively, but Ara's going to repost up on this corner and might have a timing.
And the danger is where Aura's in a location, you want to go elsewhere, and then you're running into the site that Westside is anchoring, and that is where he's at his absolute best, especially when he's playing Cypher.
They do have the option, of course, to try and play top mid, pull the rotation through, and all this get gunned down, apparently, by GX. Man, that's going to lock Sentinels out of the round. It feels very hard to bounce back from that. What, are you going to go back to the side that Ara still posted up on?
Very cool from GX that they pivot into that high-low setup mid after assuming that Sen will be rotating away from A. Aura's reposted up towards elbow, so then they're ready to just gun them down midway through their rotate. They read the situation well, and they, as a team, will always do something proactive around that on defense, even if it is just setting up, a high-low open face like that to get the man advantage.
I'm always really impressed by the sheer number of different set plays that GX can put together on defense. It feels like they've always got something. Like Pipson has them drilled to a T. But this team, right, who in this form we've only seen since, the end of stage one? They won one game of kickoff? One game in stage one? Now they're at champs?
Yeah, they were 7th, 8th kickoff, finished 9th, 10th stage one, and now they're at champs. And that is also a testament to the impact of bringing in Aura and Flickless right at the end of that first stage. They make away with 3 rifles, saving on that prior round. Invested so heavily into this one, of course. They have that Nightfall to play around from Narrate, and they're just one orb away from getting that Rolling Thunder for Zelsis.
Okay, that was a TP across tiles by the looks of things by Bang. Smoke top mid here. This is already drawing that potential high-low setup across for GX, leaving A pretty lightly held.
But they're okay with that. It's Aura with the operator posted up. He's getting all of that information just by existing there.
Safe pair of hands for sure.
This drone heading into mid is going to at least spot out Zekin. These dark covers are going to need to be cycled yet again from Bang up towards top so Sen can safely maneuver around this area of the map.
That's the second one being used, of course, to be able to use a third should be required.
Now it looks like Sen at some point, do they just want to see if someone is over towards A? Are they going to make noise and then try to pivot back into a B split? I don't think they really made any noise towards A just yet.
I think Zelsis wants to probably find a fault line opportunity when it comes back available, but Zach is going to go straight into market anyway. It sees the trip, clears it.
No, he gets killed. Wow. Sen are trying to pivot into some kind of crazy A split right now. A smoke is placed top left mid for Zelsis to maneuver in. Aura still has this operator not spotted out.
Dangerous there, very dangerous, but Bang goes for a diligent little shoulder peek. Ara, those asking for more, and there's no opportunity to trade it back. Flickless may have fallen. That's a breach util gone, but most of it was already expended to the favor of GX now. We've got 12 seconds left in the round. Sentinels accelerating here. My goodness. Threatening to break the sound barriers. They hit that A side, and all of GX get drawn out into the town square.
What an insane execute from Sen. That's a crazy pivot back towards A. Making it seem like they were going to go through market, then they smoke top mid for Celsius to kind of re-flank up top while they're going through main. That was madness.
Ara's set up here ends up being what? The trade is to play here from Link. Narrate has his crosshair set already for that emergence out of elbow. And Sen just send it. They got no other choice. John is...
Wow, he went crazy.
Yeah, he's disgusting in some of those moments. I think the pistol 3-piece as well back on Corrode. Another moment memorable.
Yeah, he's had
John.
some insane individual plays so far today.
Cloud did not look pleased with how that round went.
I cannot believe that they won that out. Second goes down immediately in market as well.
On Sunset right now, it feels like GX kind of locked down the entire map. They've got really good setup there in market. It catches out second. Ara's posted up on the A side of the map. pretty reluctant, I think you are, to push into that kind of setup. Especially when, you might have a Prowler available to you or something like that. Seems like Sentinels just took that situation in their own hands. Raw gunplay on that A side allowed them to open it up. But that's not something that's replicable, right? That's not exactly a core strategy or heuristic that you're going to lean on over the course of this attack side. Sentinels need to make use of this timeout, which they've called.
Yeah, and to that point, it's Kaplan calling the timeout despite getting that round win. It did kind of feel like a Hail Mary that they just threw to win that one out.
I mean, that is very much just trying to make the most of what you have left. Bringing the lemonade recipe out here to Paris, I guess. But again, tough to replicate rounds like that.
Now, we've seen from GX, when they have a Hunter's Fury, they often like to send it into spawn just like this. R will push down Corbino through mid. This is something that Sen need to be prepared for. It's a play that they like to activate that they've used in EMEA.
Zelsa's got battered there by the Hunter's Fury, and Corbino winning in tiles is huge. It means that GX don't have to worry about...
The spike is down in that corner. Center getting sold out by the dark cover, Paranoia going through, or in an isolated 1v1 though.
They have the Rolling Thunder to get A-main control back. That is absurd. A counter one comes out though. Flickless lets it go, but it's Grobinho who eventually falls by the wayside. Sentinels have not got off the starter's mark in this round, and Zekin's not there to double up. Now trying to at least play off this aftershock. Zelsa's got his, and it all falls apart. Talk about a team who likes to be assertive on the defense side. GX, more than most.
That is a classic GX play right there.
Keep them coming, baby.
They love to use an aggressive early ult. This is an exact round out of their playbook that we saw them use to win a round against Fnatic, for instance, in their matchup in the playoffs. This is what they excel at. Their strat book on Sunset is absolutely as dense as it gets.
And Sentinels have definitely seen that. Kaplan has definitely seen that. It didn't really seem to prepare them for it either way. What a nice look there for GX. Here's a fault line that'll force Cloud off the line, and in theory allow the cross back from Grobinho. Finds a perfect window to punish that rate. And again, early in the round, Sen have been knocked down to 4.
It's good to see Grobinho really getting into the game here on map 2. I don't think that Corrode performance in any way is representative of the normal level of play that he is offering to this GX team. And he's starting to come to life here when they desperately need him to stay in this series.
The buy here for Sentinels is tragic. They want to try and work the map a little bit, but they've got nothing done over at the B side. Ara is there with the op. They've sort of sniffed that out, I feel.
Grobinho is still just posted up on this dark cover angle and knows he needs to get the hell out of here with his overdrive on the way.
Is he TPing? Yes, he gets out just in time, but he TPs into the relay bolt. Flickless though, sharp shooting, gets himself set up. Backside. And crucially, Bang's still in play, so need a smoke to come back online for him as 30 seconds are left in the round to probably cover up, that spot in spawn. But Ara has had time to get here with the op. John, he sprays through smoke. Realizes Flickless is there for the taking, and Bang maybe doesn't know the lay of the land before he TPs in like that. Another 3 for John, but not enough for Sentinels. That's the 6th round to hand for Giant X.
How dangerous was that, though? The spam to the smoke from John was crazy. He is on one right now.
That is a very insightful shoulder peek for Grobinho.
This just never should have been that close. 4 on 2, he gets the 2K just spraying the smoke. All right.
Hey, you got to be feeling good here. Tough first map. Much improved on Sunset. They're going to thrust down mid again. They're going for an R and tears them to shreds. Sentinels barely get out of bed before getting clotheslined. Ara finally taken down, but once Sen cannot get 10 seconds into the round with 5 players wide. They just can't do it.
This is just another play out of the GX strat book that we've seen from them before, and no team seems to know how to stop them. It's just the combination of their initiator util, the push down mid, a push through B main. There's a fault line that comes through B main that canvases all of bottom mid for Aura to fight. And then there's that recon up top. It's just, they run the same plays and it just keeps on working.
And here's a neural theft for John. Sees all of this at top mid.
The second baited into that swing, and I mean, why not? Cloud was right there using that drone, obviously. It's just good that he had support from Flickless for that instant trade.
Zekin doubled his entire kill total in that round, Wyatt. He had a quiet outing up until this point. John has been making plenty of noise. This timing is going to hurt them, though! Tell you what, that's value for ammo, isn't it? Flukeless X's around with 3. GX, 5-round lead. These guys really lock the map down.
This is just where they're at their best. It feels like even if you prep for the rounds like this that are going to be thrown at you, it just doesn't even matter.
Dude, the util comes in perfectly for Ara.
This is just what they are best at. Look at how all of that util is placed on the map so perfectly. And it's that fault line that comes from B main that just gets the entirety of bottom mid into lower tiles, which is even covered with a dark cover, so Aura doesn't need to focus on the left. He can just fight right.
It's all set up
so
for him.
Good.
And in situations where we've seen GX, go for similar plays, or if Ara notices that he's a little bit ahead of this util, he will slow down. Like, this is so well drilled from this GX team. They set Ara up for success so often. This is a hand wringer for Kaplan.
This is stuff that Sen, I think, are expecting. They absolutely should be. They knew Sunset would be in this pool. They're not going to ever take it out, and it's always going to be picked by GX. So they've seen them run this stuff. They know it's going to come eventually, but it's another thing to actually have to deal with it in the moment.
I guarantee you, both coaches knew the exact 3 maps that would get played in this series when they came in.
Yeah,
I think
their map pools just have so much overlap.
Yeah. But these teams definitely behaved as you would expect when it came to the veto. So now Sentinels have to generate some momentum here. GX are locking them out of the map, and they're not doing it passively either. They are assertive, they are proactive, and they're more than happy to get into the face of America's number 3 seed.
Now Aura's picked up this Outlaw, knowing that everyone on Sentinels is just going to be on the light armor. He'll be controlling that B main side, and the rest of GX on account of that can really put the emphasis on stacking A together.
Grabino here is going to be forced back, timing not quite on his side, but the paranoia came out enough to act as a relief valve. Flickless might try and work this angle with him. Not affected by the C's, but sprayed down as those bullets were intended for Grabino.
That was very, very dangerous for Flickless. He was getting stalled up by those bullet tags, slow movement. Whoa, this is crazy from Aura. He's all the way out of B main, holding the exit. So,
okay.
I mean, GX, they know where Sen are hitting. They know that they're going A.
I mean, this is just breaking conditioning for Sentinels, who probably just aren't used to being in some of these positions. Ara, in no hurry to push off that. Full trust in the rest of GX to lock this A side of the map down, but it's where push comes to shove. Zekin gets onto the side behind the box, but the aftershock came through. And Cloud swings for the fences. 2 kills cleaned up. Now Ara decides to get a little active. Catches Zelsis out. Timing certainly works in his favor. And Westside will step in when needed. Flawless round and so many metrics there for GX. Untouchable on this defense side.
Yeah, they really do a lovely job of just fighting together on the site when the hit comes in. And Second getting stalled up in the back box. That was essential for the win there. And obviously Aura just getting the entirety of the map controlled by that Outlaw, flanking out a B main and holding their exit. Yeah, that was somewhat important too. Just a comprehensively great round from GX, who are running away with their pick.
Yeah. And Sentinels are struggling to adapt. Why they've not found a gear that suits them against GX.
And Aura has actually kept this Outlaw, does have a few 125 HP targets.
Zekin and John, though, they're the ones with armor. So John can have some confidence pushing into this.
Much faster from Sen. They're going for that 3-prong sight and Zek splitting from multiple sides.
Now, how do they deal with the anchors, though? Westside's going to be dug in here, but Narrate steps up with the Guardian. They know, yep, Prowler confirms. Westside in the corner and only gets his one. Stinger goes to work for John. And a Nightfall now to catch the players rotate in. 2 pings at Boba. Tells the whole story for Sentinels.
This is a pace adjustment from Sen that GX were not expecting. Ooh. Crucial win from Grabino.
Ugly stuff with the Stinger, but util in hand for when Narrate steps up to the plate. And now it's on Cloud and Flickless to make their way through a smoked out Boba. Money, damn good for GX, and it might be worth going for it, but they are caught off the site. Cloud wants to wrap around, has a lot to say across the stage so far this game. He'd love now to show some bite with the bark wide. Nice swing. And second down. Narrate steps up, and Cloud might just be him right now. Bang is all over the place, and Flickless is more than happy to put him out of his misery.
Unbelievable retake from GX. It's Cloud just able to isolate. He gets that 1v1 against Zekin, ready for the swing from Narrate next. He is going insane on this map.
That is really nice. Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. The desk touched on it. By far the most experienced player on GX. 5 years of play, and is yet only 21 years old. And has to be the leader of this team. And I love that we're seeing him give it back to Sen.
Yeah. Oh, is he indicating we won a 2v3 against you, I think?
Like, Zelsis stood up after they won round 2, and since then, Cloud has just been giving it to him.
It's a 7-round gap between these two teams. And look at how far back Sentinels are playing early. They're expecting some nonsense because Hunter's Fury is active. Cloud doesn't give it to him, though. Not in that way. Zen will be allowed to work the map here, but is it just them being given more rope? Market probably the loosest held part of the map here for GX, along with top mid now that pressure's come in.
And after just an absolute all-star performance from Zekin on that map 1, here on map 2, he has been completely nullified by this GX defensive util. Has really had no opportunities for clean entries.
No ping, though, being set up just yet. Looks like the Sova Dart comes in a little late.
Flickless has maneuvered his way into the site, ready to throw out some
Here we
util,
go.
but Sen are ahead of it.
All right, gets the jump on him there. It's going to be a relay bolt. Narrate just stuck to the ground, transfixed. Watches the sword fall. And there's a Hunter's Fury that Sentinels are waiting on. In the last round of the half, Sentinels are unlikely to put much of a scratch on Giant X. Spike is heavily within enemy territory, and John has to stand and face the music.
I mean, look at that setup that they pivot into so quickly. Flickless set up to fault line through main. Off that, the Hunter's Fury gets significant damage through, makes Sen scramble in their positioning. They have this double setup in elbow. What can Sentinels do here? Honestly, what can they do?
Sick. Honestly, the protocols have been incredible, and so many different set plays here for GX that have just kept Sentinels off their balance for the entirety of this attack side.
This is GX at their best, without a doubt. It's on this Sunset map, and it's with this play style.
Let's now send it over to Lou, who's standing by with GX co-streamers Lembo and Sandra.
Et je suis ravie d'accueillir à mes côtés 2 stars espagnols. À ma droite, Lembo, à ma gauche, Sandra, 2 streamers Giant X. Guys, Lembo, Sandra, what a pleasure to welcome you here in Paris in those beautiful jerseys, supporting Giant X, of course. And we've seen that on map 1 it was a bit tough, so who can you count on the most within the players? You know, when times are a bit difficult, to bring up the vibes in the team.
I think our little Westside, because he's the clutcher of the team.
I think that's pretty solid too. What about you, Lembo?
For me, Flickless is so important in the communication, and his calls are winner.
Du coup, sur qui est-ce qu'on peut compter finalement quand c'est un peu compliqué? Ils ont perdu la map 1. Qui est-ce qui remonte un petit peu l'ambiance dans la team? Et bah, du côté de Lembo, c'est Westside et également Flickless qui sont là. On a le facteur Westside pour les clutch et aussi pour les calls, on a Westside. Donc on va ensuite pouvoir leur poser la deuxième question. I wanted also to ask you, because we know that French and Spanish fans are very passionate, you know. So what do you think about our French audience? How are the vibes so far?
I think Spanish and French people are the most enjoyer of the esports, the more passionate people cheering for the teams. We saw in many events the blue wall, and wow, it's excited to see them.
Really beautiful fan base, right? Donc on voit que les Français et les Espagnols sont tellement passionnés à propos de l'e-sport. Ils adorent ça, ils se déplacent pour les fans, etc. Et donc, bah, qu'est-ce qui t'a impressionné finalement de la French audience? Et bah, tout simplement, ils sont motivés, ils sont là, ils font du bruit, notamment le Blue Wall, les fans, Carmine. And now, let's see if GX can take the win on Sunset.
The energy in here is great. I think something special about coming out to France to cover some Valorant. They have a legendary crowd, so we know that. It's only going to get more lively, I guess, over the next few days. Let's talk this match, though. Coinbase Econ report for you right now. A couple of players we want to highlight. West side here. Remember, the Econ rating, it's a metric, right, that we measure with the amount of damage done as opposed to how much is spent on your loadouts here. So almost 2K down to West side, 88.1, which is really quite high. This guy's been really rock solid, man. He controls that B side of the map.
Destroying Bang so far in this game in particular.
Everyone has been, unfortunately.
Yeah, but he is obviously on the defensive side at his best. But now that we're heading over towards the attack for GX, honestly, it feels a lot like the defense in the way of they play incredibly fast. You know, compared to the average in Europe, they plant the spike 10 seconds faster than all the other teams in Stage 2. They send it.
That's a nerd stat.
They have so many crazy fast executes where all of the utility sequences are perfect. All of their timings are hit. They're really incredible on this map.
Yeah, it feels like against GX you have to kind of beat them on an individual basis. And that's been hard to do with all this util slanting engagements in GX's favor. Big stack here of B main set up for Sentinels. That allows the west side to be extracted early, but there's Cloud standing tall. John at least controls any ingress towards that Boba area. And there's Zekin tucked in his corner. This is a pretty conservative approach here for Sentinels, but they are getting torn apart a little. Merraid lit here by the bolt. At least finds Cloud as he gets around the corner, but he's gone low.
Wow, Flick was able to dodge that out.
Now he got into the sights. Spotted out by Flickless though. German unable to win that last engagement. It's a much-needed pistol round here for Sentinels. And it looks like nothing more than grim satisfaction on their faces. They're still reeling from that first half.
Yeah, I like their decision to go for such a heavy B fight. GX do like to go for a lot of splits, so they can just isolate a couple of those players in main and then try to refight elsewhere.
One enemy player standing.
Last few bullets there from the right. Important round for him. Some confidence for the young gun wouldn't hurt.
Zekin trying to keep the spirits high there. GX, no investment on this round 2. Maybe if Narrate can collect a few kills, Sen could work towards an early nightfall.
GX been pretty proactive here, getting some information about mid, but that Tiles corner's been pinged already, and it'll be bang to take contact.
Conversely for GX, if they can try to maybe around the world get the orbs, they can get towards that Rolling Thunder early. They've been able to get Flickless the one so far.
Economically, Sentinels never really able to get in the game on the first half. That's evidenced by Zekin leaving it with 4 kills.
Except for when they win the eco on round 2 and then get subsequently ecoed on round 3 and the economy is cooked.
Yeah. Pretty slow, very default coded look here for GX, of course. Hoping for something to be offered up by Sentinels, who are pretty patient. But they're definitely more lean into the B direction. They'll have anchoring presences here, including John once more ready to shut them down from Boba. Prowler from mid. That's now cleared. GX basically contained by his util usage and now hitting a paranoia as they try and get out of market. John's there, Bulldog sings out, good damage. Cloud on the side, somehow able to win these very unlikely scenarios, but Ara is contained by Bang. Matches his freak, so to speak, and Cloud at 19. It's caught on the site, Bang knows he's coming and is trained on that corner. Still not enough to get him out of there. Cloud getting some pretty ridiculous 1v1 moments. That'll be Sentinels convert on the pistol 1.
GX will be super happy with that. They get the spike down, they get a couple kills, and it's Cloud, who's now 1 away from getting a Hunter's Fury. That's easily going to be the first ultimate that'll be used in this game. You'd have to imagine, right? So not too bad for them.
I think this team has drawn criticism from some of the attack side calling from Cloud, and it's maybe sort of less experience being pointed out, but this is not the start that we're looking for on the attack side anyway. Now we get to see a little bit though what's cooking, what's under the dome for Cloud. Like you mentioned, that Hunter's Fury just a whiff away.
Fault line set up if there's going to be some aggression from Sen towards A main. The GX could go for a bit of a refight here. But it's just a safer cross setup for the Sentinels defense at the moment.
This fault line likely set up reactively here or to set Ara up.
And now they can get more aggro with it, especially with that drone getting the information.
Okay. So it's good reactive fault line that comes out from Flickless just to stop Sen pushing up. They really don't have any deep elbow presence. Look at them pulling back on A entirely.
They're slowing things down, getting into elbow right now.
They don't really have information of top mid Sentinels here, so at some point they're going to have to start looking over their shoulders there at Link. Just giving that part of the map up.
Honestly, feels uncharacteristically slow right now for GX. Hoping that someone from Sen will maybe overextend. That Prowler's going to get the information on Aura in the corner.
I'm looking for decisive calling on this execute from GX. Waiting until, of course, some of that key util cycles back.
Yeah, they get that fault line back up, and now it's go time.
Aura onto the side, runs in and narrate first. It's going to be Bang, no credit with the kill. Bang gets ahead of that dark cover, and now the Paradigm comes out late. Gravino thought he had the drop on narrate, but he couldn't have been more wrong. The rain eventually falls, and there it is. Nice little flash through the smoke. Little two-piece from GX now. Assume control of the side.
Westside peeks out, might be able to catch him. Second.
Timing.
Gets the opening with the Outlaw.
Relay bomb might make things hard on the site. That's John downed. Westside sharp as attack, folks. And Cloud will hold his ground there on the site.
20 for 8 right now.
Yeah, we've had 15 rounds of play, White. 14 rounds of play.
That is an outrageous stat line. Thought it would be hard to beat Zekins on map 1, but he might just do it.
Yeah, oh, okay. Yeah, some interesting classic moments as well. The first couple of rounds kept him in the game.
I love how Westside repositions for those fights there.
Dude, John control.
Gets that kill on Narrate, then immediately gets back to play off contact so he can swing Link. Really intelligent stuff from him.
Going from, you know, bottom of the table in kickoff stage 2 to literal world caliber should be studied. GX, it's unreal how they've come alive. And now we're finally getting to see what they're made of in the second map of the series.
John has the trip set up for back site control. We'll see if they try to make their way out at all. Second, I know John does get that catch.
Yeah, Ara in the corner. Still a lot of site control for GX. Now they are deep. They can anchor in the post plant. Grabinho very mindful of a sort of off-timing push out of Boba, though.
And Elzelsis, he does have that full kit to get back in. Narrate's still with Prowlers to play with. This Seas as well. Sen have all the tools.
Harness Fury, though. Cloud going to try and preempt this now and spots out Bang by the looks of things back towards spawn. John tagged out, has the dodge away. Some damage done. Sentinels are against the clock. Need to get in here. Stinger there for Celsius. Looks like fault lines avoided by Flickless. He tries to get ahead of the game, and so far not too shabby, but Zekin is up on the site and demanding some attention. Brought down by Cloud. And Narrate's got to step up in his absence. Does Bang. Tough job. Someone's going to do it. And Flickless puts the round to bed. 12-4 for GX. Just dominant on Sunset.
If Sen can't get it done there, they can't get it done at all on this map. It feels effectively over. GX just 1 round away. They're a 4-on-5. Sen have all of the initiator tools to get back in. Full kits used from both of them, and that's still not enough. Even then, Flickless not in the ideal position for that 1v1.
Doesn't matter.
Adjustment wins it out. Mental play from him.
I feel like Haven is such a wild card map to look towards our third here. Sentinels have to have put in some extra work there. When GX get to control the tempo, they look head and shoulders above.
Sen have just had no inroads on this map whatsoever. And it feels like the second they find some kind of advantage, GX just absolutely storm them in the round, and it is done. Their game plans on this map are just genuinely fantastic on both halves.
It's going to work mid again. Pretty underboard. Sentinels here. Zekin opts to go out, look for something. The setup was there for him.
Yeah, cosmetic stun. Just one taps him. Cool. That is crazy.
8 and 16.
And now after pressuring mid, GX is going to go back, meet up with the rest of their teammates in B main and try to close this game out.
2 pretty one-sided maps back-to-back if this round goes the way we expect it to. Some volatility has been introduced into this series. Okay, TP there from Bang. That gets him set up in Boba nice and early. Johnny's in that corner, and Ara not able to fully clear it. Still suspicious, mind you. But John will have the drop on the site. Cloud with the plant. Now, going to be forced out of the cubby by that after shot, but John's going to have to get active. Another Cybercade set up. He does not want to show himself. I get it. But Ara and Cloud already racking him up. And John eventually falls. Celsius pees in, gets one, but the rolling thunder will put him to bed. And Sentinels, well, they let the keys in the car. They didn't turn up the Sunset, I'll be honest with you. Invisible. GX absolutely flatten them. Straight out of the gates. It's a code hanger that leaves the American squad absolutely reeling.
360 ACS for Cloud, who drops 23 for 9. That is an outrageous performance from the IGL for GX. Their gameplay on that map was phenomenal on both sides. The game plans that they have coming into this are beautiful.
Lot to talk about here. We'll go for a quick break, then we'll bounce back, and the analysts are going to get us ready for a Map 3 decider in this opener.
Yo, say nice try. Oh, we lost against Eco.
Yo, shield down, sit down. Oh. What are we doing, boys?
Game changers. It's about competition, pure happiness. It's like a crazy experience. We're making history. It means so much to us. It's good to be back.
I guess you know what I've been looking for, success.
The beauty of gaming is it doesn't matter who you are. And as long as I'm good enough,
Everybody's getting a 4K.
I can go as far as I want.
That's what I like to see, baby.
全世界都会知道我们的厉害。
Are your Valorant esports instincts next level?
This man is a big player in big games!
Prove it. Put your game sense to the test with the all-new VCT real-time prediction game, Shot Call. It's a Twitch desktop extension available exclusively on official VCT broadcast channels. With Shot Call, you and your friends will be able to call your shots, score points, and earn rewards. Here's how to play. During the official champion streams on Twitch, open up the Shot Call overlay on screen to make real-time predictions by answering questions. Whether it's predicting a Forsaken clutch or correctly calling a site rotate before it even starts, you'll score points, climb a live leaderboard, and have the chance to win prizes. Play along seamlessly with Shot Call's built-in notifications, or open the extension in full to check your progress and see how other viewers are guessing. You can call the shots during Valorant Champions Paris starting on September 12th. Tune in, try it out, tell us what you think.
in true Giant X fashion. They don't look the best on map 1, but they hit back hard on map 2, which means we will be going to a map 3. Cuba not having the greatest time, but he is telling everyone to buy the GX bundle. Let's go! I'm not biased at all. Go on, join me. Join me.
You know what? I'll admit when our team is bested. We've been owned, I fear.
And holy smokes, were they bested.
Yeah.
It looked brutal. I mean, there were so many parts of the game where it felt like you had a lot of these players who historically do step up when things look bad. John delivered. He did his best, especially in the first half, to drag them over the halfway line. But everything after that was just rough.
And yeah, and there's a reason why EMEA fans are so excited about Flickless playing Initiator agents. He was so good on Breach. It actually annoys me that they took him off of it for Corrode. You never know what could have happened. But this is just classic Flickless playing at his best.
I mean, I think Flickless util was absolutely on point. I think the combination of him and Cloud, what they were able to do in terms of like the combo of like their ultimate plays coming online, just the sharp shooting, especially out of Cloud as well.
He had 3 Breach ults.
Yeah, it was
in what,
insane.
17 rounds? Yeah. In 17 rounds, that's insane.
But so nice from the team, and I think it all started on the pistol round for them, on a nice retake. Then they lost round 2, and we were like, oh no, this could be ugly.
Right.
But still, the West Side Sheriff is just the best of the game, gets a couple of kills up in main and there, so it ended up equalizing the half for them. And just continues to prove how good Giant X are with the pistols.
Yeah, and there was something about watching that round play out where you saw the first pick by Giant X and went, I don't like this. This has bad feeling written all over it. And sure enough, that bad feeling never really dissipated. It never really went away.
And then I think we ended up seeing them get to run a lot of these set plays later on. A lot of these aggro looks here. A little crunch maneuver, seeing the Neon through main, while Groovy goes down into tiles. And I think even once they froze, right, they didn't fall out of space. A lot of teams would take that fight, fall away. Giant X just stuck to their guns up in there, and it was this brawl that came after that initial fight that went so well.
Yeah, and I think there were 2, maybe 3 big looks like this, but then they also had a bunch of these little like micro traps at the beginning of the round where Groovy farmed. He had so many good moments. This is the second one that I'm referring to, where they were very intentional about taking the fight to Sentinel's doorstep, and they couldn't find a way to navigate around it.
And what I love about these rounds, so we just saw round 7 and round 9. And it's both of these early aggro plays. The calling from Cloud I love, because in round 8, it's when Sentinels played that painstakingly slow round where they almost lose on time. They plant with like 10 seconds left.
Oh, yeah.
And it's surrounding that Cloud goes go, go, go.
Yeah, well, let's not live in the past because we're heading to Haven. This is going to be the decider. And again, GX have such a old school way of interpreting this map, and it works for them.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And I think matching up against Sentinels that have started incorporating the Viper, that's getting a little bit more popular, at least in Americas, what this game is going to be to me is all about A main control. Usually Breach as an agent and with the Neon 2, you can dominate the fight over that space. But the Viper wall that typically you're going to be seeing John QT put down is going to be that one that slices through a lobby. And I think there's going to be a big test whether or not Giant X can prove that they can force out Sentinels from that space early on. Otherwise, it gives Sentinels so much control over the map.
I think on the other side of the map, you'll expect Giant X to take control of C long a lot. Yunto, I think you were the one who were mentioning it. They're very comfortable with the flash dash, or the slide, I guess.
Yes.
But that idea of establishing control early on, very similar to what we saw in Sunset. The thing about Haven, though, is that it's a 3-side map. It feels a lot bigger. There are less places to get.
What the heck is going on there?
Oh, I would love to know. But all I'm going to say is, GX, if you can hear me, they're going to go B. They're going to go B. Be prepared for B.
Hubert the
yes, Uber and Wire, please give us something normal.
Save us.
Okay, well, I don't really see the problem with trying to provide Cubit with sustenance. That is pretty reasonable. I don't think he's got the anatomy to down a baguette, which is fine. Maybe puts him at a disadvantage out here in Paris, but hey, at least Kaplan is trying to feed the guy. I think he'd like to see more Sentinels rounds, though. I think that would be very beneficial and sustaining for Cubit. Very few of those at one Sunset. I understand he's looking a bit emaciated, a bit starved. Sentinels, look, I mean, I'm going to talk about that last series of their playoff run in NA. They looked dead. They struggled to bounce back from the beating they'd suffered. Sunset looked just like that. So do they have what it takes to dig deep here and show us a great Haven?
A map that we haven't seen much of them on in Stage 2, but they have gone to this double controller comp. Aura, does he dare swing? No. Dark cover. Zekken wants to go in, though, off that recon.
All right, men at the door. Zekken bypasses them entirely and then decides to get on out, drawing a lot of attention. And now they're going to make the dive here through Garage. West side flattens Elsis. all over him like moss on a rock. No chance to recover. And the site swarming with red.
Yeah, just a Sheriff bullet penetration going through default box. And now 2 players from GX ready to face onto Zelsis. He doesn't want to take that duel right now, though. He can just take things easy, slow down.
It coming. That paranoia doesn't hit Narrate, so he can stand a bit of first to the action. Not Gromino on Flickness again, surely not. It's the Polish player alone. Zelsis waits for him to step out into the sun. Still, a mildly furrowed brow for Sen's fans. That could have gone either way.
That was an interesting little round. I mean, that's a pretty classic move on a pistol. Try to sell that B fake with your Neon who can get in, get out, pivot into the C split through garage. Drone tags on the west side, and then he's lit up back box. Cool.
Has
I mean,
Zelsis shot?
That's a nice part of having the Sheriff, though, on these pistol rounds, is that you can actually shoot through that default box.
How does Gromino put that quick 2-piece together? Dangerous as always, but Sentinels at least get their pistol. That's what they came for. Nice little pivot there into C.
So we have this gamble sack from GX that is based on this paranoia from Gromino. If there's noise long, going to throw that out, and 3 players are ready to swing. But it seems like Sen are probably going to be dodging that unless they go for maybe a late C split again.
I don't know if Narrate liked what he saw off that recon. There was no Al drone used on that C-long position, though, so tough to spot this out. But with the spikes being left, very much a default look for Sentinels, and they are so... I mean, I think Cloud has kind of put the fear of God in them here about turning up in random places on those eco rounds, so Sen have to be... They have to spend that much more checking these random corners, clearing really thoroughly.
Yeah, they've gone ahead and worked all of long. Completely silent. After that, drone was early, second caught, but quickly gets that shot off before going down to the Classic.
No stone unturned for Sentinels on this A side of the map, and Zekin barely gets out of that one alive. Now, though, GX are going to have to play the A side retake, always difficult, with nothing board up. They do have all the breach utilities to spend, but the gamble stack does not eventuate.
Zelsis even waiting on this late little wrap through B. I have to say, it's tough for me to kind of rank where Sen are at with Haven in terms of their map pool right now. You know, map pool was something that Kaplan discussed heavily as an aspect of the game that they need to work on heading into these global events to actually get a trophy. And they played Haven twice in the second stage. It was against C9 and 2G in the regular, season part. They won both games, but just a very small sample size. So I feel it's very hard to evaluate where they're at the moment. And for GX, they've had moderate success. They're sitting at a 3-2 record in stage 2. Beat Na'Vi a couple times here. So it's really tough, I think, to try to match this up.
And I think also we've got to take this map into context of the rest of the series. What we've seen so far from GX when they get that lead, when they start to build that momentum. They look to be really good at just strangling you out of a game. As on the defense side, that we've not really seen anything special from them yet. No real set plays, but this is the kind of round where they should start to rear their heads. The Sentinels, of course, still have a Stinger Bulldog Outlaw in the round.
Zelsis does fully invest into getting that Vandal. Early recon, certainly going to be broken. Cloud taking the opportunity to spam through that standard A-long dark cover that Sen can use to claim this space easily.
So far, and this is small sample size of rounds, GX are a little less proactive. Again, it's a 3-site map. You're spread a little bit more thin. Losing a player on the extremity hurts a lot more than it would on Sunset, for example, where there's almost always someone else to back them up. Even like a 2-1-2 or even a 3-1-1.
Eyes are down. Sen have maneuvered all the way back to this C side, which was vacant. Westside wants to get in backside. Will anyone actually be here in time to assist him, though? He wants to break the recon that might come in on that top left side, but it doesn't. It's just a drone, yeah.
Okay, well, they've got presence, though. You'll notice that he's been joined by Gromino. Plenty of GX players here now. They're going to be lit as they come around the corner. Zekin, no tracks back and then forward. Almost had the better of Ara. But the guy is a little too quick with it. Westside, backside, caught out. And Cloud, not inside. He is still making his way over. And has the unenviable task of making his way into C from defense spawn side.
So GX are able to rotate everyone into backside. Sen really slowed things down, but then eventually I do feel that that kind of played to their advantage. They get a lot of clean fights at the end there. Cloud even caught by Narrate. Lovely little kill, and is now just one away from getting that Hunter's Fury in terms of the orbs. Bonus round converted for Sen.
Scanning ahead.
Yeah, if this late recon comes through. And GX, they really, feels like they kind of try to overfight there, you know, with that double swing coming back default, and it sends patience getting into the site that does pay off. Getting that recon thrown back sight after the drone had given them front sight.
PTSD?
That's a deep cut, John. Any knowers?
Okay, so sending out pretty slow. They work seat slowly enough that Ara's able to get in there as well. GX maybe just not ready for that tempo.
Now on this round, GX looks like they maybe want to explore down mid, try something more proactive, which has not been the case for them so far on Haven, in contrast to the style that they had on Sunset.
I'm not surprised to see Sen waiting for a push out of mid, for example. And actually, GX more interested in trying to allot the correct number of resources to the side that they think Sen's going to land on, as opposed to trying to get early info pushes. They're not doing any of that so far. Again, the weapons don't really maybe allow for it. They've made a gamble stack that looks unlikely to pay off for them. And honestly, that lurk wall over on the B side of the map will keep a few of them there.
This game as well, I will say it's an interesting clash of styles with the two approaches here to Neon. Westside has made his way into this backside that should be cleaned up, yeah. It's this double controller with the Viper that has really been the trend in Americas versus the very classic approach to running Neon on Haven, where you're running double initiator with Breach and Sova. And I think a lot of people do have concerns when they see teams picking Breach on maps that aren't Sunset right now. And I do think that's valid, but GX have shown a real proficiency with that agent still, where their sequencing of utility is really effective. Their timings are usually impeccable.
Honestly,
they're certainly going to have to be if they want to win this map against Sen, who are going to be at 4.
I think the KJ choice over the Cypher is an interesting one to examine. The turret lets you usually on the attack side watch for any pushes out of Garage, and Lockdown is pretty awesome to force retake circumstances on that A side especially, which is so hard to get back into. But GX here don't really see any way to make an inroads on the map. Cloud always seems to just fare a particular way late in the round. No, it'll be GX perishing to the blast and hoping to hit the ground running in their second buy round.
All right, let's see if GX can finally stop this run of rounds the Sentinels have been on. Winning both the pistol and the bonus obviously gives you a crazy advantage in the series. The economy has finally gotten to a place where Aura can pick up that operator.
Okay.
We definitely highlighted that on the previous two maps, how that is really a linchpin for this GX success on defense. Him just being able to control space somewhere so they can rotate elsewhere with the rest of the players. Now it is a little tough at times when you're playing against this Viper. Having to deal with the wall does make the angles on A bit more difficult to work around.
I definitely feel like the texture of the game changes drastically when Ara has a scope weapon in hand.
All right, that trip front sight going to be broken by the shock dart. Drone in first from Narrate, similar to what we've seen before, a slower approach.
Drone then recon has been the cadence. Backside, we're just going to see some of those corners cleared, and Sentinels have seen or not seen enough.
Yeah, they want to slow things down. The rotate has been drawn very fast towards C. They obviously saw GX willing to do that on a previous round when they sent that sequence of utility on the C site. So now they're going to maneuver their way elsewhere. I think this is some really good calling from John. This B site is pretty open. Cloud wants to get in there.
Dangerous though. Yeah. Knew there'd be some utility to draw out, but Cloud overextends onto the side. It was ultimately a fake for Sen. Something that's been in their wheelhouse a lot in the past. GX though, convinced that was for real, and they get punished for it.
Wow, they have just been baited into all of these angles. Aura is absolutely going to be saving this off. Really excellent calling there from John, I feel. Just activating that same early util on C that drew all the rotates on the bonus round that they converted.
Oh,
wow,
no
he's even going to
way.
catch this kill onto Aura.
It's free, man.
But then drawing the rotates, pivoting to B, but then after they're delayed by that aftershock, they turn around, all of those GX players who were drawn out, baited out, they collect the kills, pivot to see where they've left, Zelsis inserted deep. This was a really excellent round from Sen.
And also a decent time to make the fake play on B happen. Still the GX, maybe that's something that also has come up to them in VOD review, because it is something that Sen likes to mix in. Just a point of tension in this game where, for whatever reason, they are convinced that it's worthwhile committing on. And they underestimate their opponents. Big punish as a result. Cloud definitely a lot quieter in this map. Now needs to get the troops rallied as Pipson is going to dial in. See what needs to be fixed in this timeout.
What's made GX so effective on defense is their ability to call rounds where they fully disrupt the plans of the attackers. So far, that just hasn't happened.
No, they've been trying to gamble stack sides.
They've been trying to gamble on some of the eco rounds, and they've been trying to flood on the buy rounds. We saw that on the bonus. We just saw that on this round, too. They all tried to flood back C, right? And so far, that hasn't been effective. It's just resulted in John having free reign across the map to lead his team and execute the plans perfectly.
How safe is it, though, to be pushing off these sites as individuals or duos for this early info, for this disruptive potential? There's been no defensive pops, right? There's been no sort of very aggressive early round movements here for GX. In fact, they're not even working the map much for information passively.
At some point here, I would like to see them do something active towards mid. I
think we're going to get it
mix
now.
that in. And yeah, I do think they're going to do it here with this half buy that they've got going.
Now, there's no KJ turret set up to see this.
Oh, wow. So that's a recon paranoia with a stun from Aura into window. All of Sendo, they're stacked up towards this seaside. Site is going to be totally free.
He's back.
Yeah, him teleporting up top while Zekin runs in so they can double face back Site, but it is not going to be held by a single GX player. It is indexed in that mid play.
Yep. I like the set play. It give a lot of map control over, allow to contain, but there's no pressure coming from C Long because there's KJ util that can obviously read it as it comes.
This round is as good as done. Nice shot from Zekin. The side was already
he's back.
On
Zekin's
such
back.
Low HP.
Ara and Cloud. Don't have a lot to say about this round, I suspect. Just as likely to disappear in a puff of smoke. Set up inside Garage here, and once again, there will be a player late in the round for Sentinels trying to punish this. But no one's looking in Zelsis' direction, and yet Cloud whips on him. Pretty unconvincing stuff for GX there. Set play attempted, no result yielded.
Certainly not mad at the attempt, though. I want to see them go for plays like that.
Yeah, but how does that condition them now?
But a little insult to injury is that Zelsis, even at the end there with a kill and the death, now has a lockdown for this buy round. They have the Hunter's Fury with the lockdown to put GX on an eco again.
GX have to play ahead of that lockdown potential. They still haven't an op to hand, I would think. At least the option to go for one.
Maybe if Cloud is one away from his Hunter's Fury, so that's the natural counter to the lockdown if he can get an orb somewhere. This time, Sen, they want to go very fast towards A. Teleport cross from Bang, but he's caught. He's stunned.
Okay, well, Sentinel's conditioned to a little bit of a slower early round from GX and don't really see the mid pop from them in the previous one, so think they can still play in that fashion.
And there's a stronger A fight from GX. I do like to see that, but this is a good response from Sen. They have gone so quickly towards this C side. Can GX flood in to support West side now?
West side Tux gets the perfect drop, and Zekin is lit inside that cage. Too easy for the Cypher, and finally West side gets himself onto the board kill-wise. John, not the timing would have hoped for, I suspect. And now Narrate, unsuccessful in trying to crack the remainder of this Seaside Open. Finally, Giant X get on the board on Haven.
Signs of life. I like how they played that round from start to finish. It's that A fight, very aggressive, fault line comes through, recon into lobby. It was on a round where Sen wanted to go for an A fight of their own. They are completely caught off by that breach util. And then GX recognizing that there was that fast pivot to C coming. Westside gets all the way deep towards Plat, gets the cages up, allows his teammates to flood back in. That's a perfect defensive round.
A good example of how that util perfectly facilitates.
And now look, they want to get aggro towards mid again. It's that play from before, the relay bolt, paranoia, and
Narrate takes the
recon.
space back though. He's there in the second Wyatt. Ara brought down. Just impales himself on his own sword by the looks of things, but there's that Hunter's Fury that comes off for GX, a big part of their early aggressive play. Zekin's got to get across the window, lucky to be alive, but could still be spammed down as Corbino wants to push up outside of lobby. chaotic early round. Leaves Sentinels down to 2.
Yeah, Westside stayed fully committed out of Garage, caught off Celsius, and now the neural theft will
buddy.
reveal these remaining 2 players. It's a 1v1. Oh, Second won that round looking very different. A crucial pickup for Flickless. GX, they have to convert this.
They got all the info. John can't get anything done outside of the purview of GX. They know it all. Now, those thin walls may be his undoing. Flickless wants to step up. And John doesn't have the mechanics to answer. GX up to 2 rounds. Finally, we're starting to see some of their personality from EMEA's number 2.
Surge of energy coming into this team after an absolute drought. This is the play they ran on that prior half by. This time Sen were in the region they needed them to be towards window. It's that Hunter's Fury that Cloud throws in to get the trade when Aura goes down. Hits Bang as well, brings him to half HP. And they're pushing out of A, and they're pushing out of Garage. That was that play exactly as intended.
And Aura considered,
as they drew it up.
Aura considered picking up an op a couple rounds ago. Opted for the rifle. The GX haven't really needed to play the passive line hold game. They want to brawl and do it again.
Yeah, they want to fight for this A lobby. Very hard. Gravino gets the first. He gets the second even.
That's where that came from. Zelsis was cut down in the corner there, and Bang is revealed, able to take 2. That's all he's going to get. That's the best he can do to give John a shot in this round. The money starting to dwindle. It's getting a little low for Sentinels, as this would be their 3rd consecutive round they've given away to the defenders.
GX, they are a team that can just suddenly capture the pace of the game and take it over. Feels like these past 3 rounds have been faster than an entire bye round from the beginning of this first half.
John here has to keep it simple. Not surging out in that long direction. Has to make a correction here for Cloud, and he's in mid-air. IGL seals up another round for GX. And like he said after the first, 5 more to go. Well, they've managed to cut this lead in half.
5 also the number of ults that Sentinels have coming into this next 5. But, hell, they've had a lot of them for a while. They haven't even had a chance to use them because GX are just sending it on them.
You see Bang is trying to find a way to play in response to this raw aggression from GX. And it kind of amounts to him cowering in a corner while his team gets mowed down, and him with trigger discipline able to take 2 and then not convert any further. It's got to be a timeout here for Sentinels.
Yeah, it was a cool position to get into, but then with Sen continuing to fight in lobby and just getting shot down by Grabinho playing down there in short.
We are getting what we asked for, though. We wanted to see GX disrupt Sentinels in these early rounds.
Yeah,
push up, make it hard for
needed.
Sentinels to work the map passively, and then make a pivot into a site that they could divine was being less populated by defenders. They just have to keep this up now. This is good. As Sentinels are the ones that have to pivot now. They need to start expecting these early round push-ups. This is likely to slow them down, which could also work for GX if they realize they've done this level of conditioning to the attack side.
Yeah, I mean, what, 5 minutes ago, we felt like this was about to be a Sen walk in the park. They were up 6-0. Every round was so effortless.
Yeah, let me tell you.
And now they're forcing the timeout.
Cloud is reaching up to put the collar on Sentinels right now, so they better have their wits about them. 5 ults, though. It's a good number. See a round here or there, 1 out purely on strength of those alone, so we'll see.
And now it looks like GX, they have a play to go down long. There's going to be a recon going in towards that seaside of spawn. Fault line, relay bolt, Aura running it down, and John is just stuffed into that corner on account of the util. They know where he's going to have to reposition to.
Sentinel's obviously planning a pivot based on where that spike's been left. Zelsis needs to stay alive for this lockdown to be a factor in this round, but he has to know Westside is playing close. Wins it out. That is an important correction to flick to the head. That downs the enemy Cypher. Now this A side starting to crumble. Crack for Grabinho! Emerges with 2 very important kills. That is going to put GX to the shot in this round. A real one now as Aura gets close, wants to challenge it. Bang, cannot keep up. It's too pacey. Headshot, no dink onto Aura. Doesn't slow him down for a second. Slides in, and the overdrive will claim the final frag.
Second wanted to use his own ultimate, but while activating, is just rushed down by Aura.
Yeah, he's lost it now.
Who opens the round, closes it. It starts off another early round active play. This is just what makes GX GX and such a cool team to watch. John is isolated on that C side of the map. He goes down. And then, of course, Sen feel like we just need to accelerate into A. Also, massive credit to Gorbinho, by the way. That two-piece he had was so sick. And without that, the round is lost.
And it's crazy how frequently he is doing that. Even in these, like, eco scenarios.
Yeah, again, and started so slow, map 1, Gorbinho, but he didn't let it get to his head. He has stepped up both Haven and Sunset.
Some part of the map, Ara has been taking liberties for the last 4 rounds in a row, and it's no coincidence that those have been defense side wins. Sen have also lost a little bit in that ult battery now. Still have a lockdown. They just have them now to get to the stage in the round where they can slowly work the map and set it up, and this won't spot Ara out. Honestly, this is an insane spot to be set up.
This is crazy. There are 2 Sentinels players right now.
John's going to die to this. Surely. John, please! Oh, he just doesn't know what hit him. Narrate there under extreme pressure as well. Zekken trying to respond, but if Ara gets out of here, this is masterful.
He can just leave. Look at the A site, by the way. There are 2 Sen players in there. How has that happened? GX were fully expecting a C-side hit.
But they're not going to get to cross for free. They've got to get past Cloud, and then final boss Ara is waiting there towards mid-window.
This is so bizarre. I mean, look at
30
Sen
seconds
on the map.
Time is short, bang, deep into spawn. Ends up being a 1-for-1.
They still need to get the spike to his side.
They're going to be Ara, they can't get past him. Zekken slides in, and he takes matters into his own hands. Spike recovered, but a pivot, a wise one, across the map will send them to C, a site they've got little info, but can sort of guess that it's bereft of defenders. Zekken has to stick this, no choice.
Caught by the trip, doesn't matter. Going to get the spike down. Now, how do Sentinels position themselves here? Lockdown thrown on default. Yeah, GX, they really don't have an opportunity to break it, and Zekken wants to take the space that it's creating.
Doesn't want to over-push there. Cam dealt with. Delsus also has to play a little bit slower.
Yeah, now GX, they have to think someone could be positioned in Garage right now, surely.
They're not checking for it. No one's... Okay, Westside is watching it. Will see the barrel? Yes, wins it out. That leaves Zekken now. Oh, God, you hate to be in this spot. Has to play long in the post plant. Tough to really spam this down. Gorbinho on Spike, and Zekken's not 100% sure exactly where he is. He's going to have to spray through, and he gets there! What a crucial round! The Red Bull clutch gets the Vibe Merchant on his feet, and much of Sen City in the crowd.
You've got to be joking. No one from GX can connect the shot, and Zekken sprays them all down.
Jeez, they needed to come up for air, though, didn't they?
I mean, that's how this run of rounds for GX ends. They're in a 3-on-1. They got the lockdown out.
Well, they needed a bit of magic, Wyatt. A drought of it. Ever since round number 6.
Kaplan made a gesture like, I'll take it. Not how I wanted it to happen, but I'll take it.
Yeah, well, this can just be credited to the individual. That's just fine for Sen fans. Now, they're still in the Hunter's Fury. Also, if they ever get to a post plant, which has been tough, they'll have a pit. GX uncharacteristically played this round slow to start with. Bang, same sort of bait play. On side, Paranoia, but Ara's there to check if it's the real deal.
That immediate bolt thrown down, so no one can try to trade. Needs to get out of the way of the drone, but is a little bit too slow.
Viper's peak here, thrown inside B. Gorbinho now going to be decayed down if he lingers for too long. And Senna just headed elsewhere, leaving John behind to keep this pit up. But eventually he's going to leave too.
Westside on the angle. No, Celsius is coming. He saw the barrel, and now he can use that cage to get back towards Plat. Wants to reposition, but a little bit too early. No one there to help.
Really exposed himself. Really showed too much leg there, Wyatt. And Zekken Franklin was waiting for a drift at the back of the site. The cyber cage wasn't enough to obscure him.
John, low HP, narrate, wins that out.
Foot off the gas so far for Giant X. Serving this round over to Sentinels. And Cloud, the IGL needs to get into the side in the 1v3, already down to 70. It's always good for one. That much we've learned today. But digging this high-low setup out is all but impossible. A late half recovery for Sentinels. They bounce back, but it takes this man on your screen to get them there. Just a moment of magic from the youngster. Zekken saves their bacon. In that round 11. Crazy stuff so far, and much to talk about, I'm sure, heading into the half. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of this decided map after this.
One enemy remaining.
Scanning ahead.
Good recovery on the hand, baby. Good recovery.
Top of the second half of Haven about to come at you, folks. It is Giant X, the number 2 seed out of EMEA, versus Sentinels, who frankly limped into champions this year. A lot to prove after a 4th place finish last year and then a pretty significant roster change. That saw the infusion of some younger blood in the roster. Narrate had to hit the ground running with this team. Now, every round that GX win on that defense side, it's paired with an aggressive pop, a moment of unexpected volatility from GX, and Ara is able to get in there and catch Sentinels unaware. 4 rounds on the defense side is going to have to be enough.
And that round 11 should have been a win for GX. That should have been their 5th on the board. They brought it down to that 3 versus 1 that Zekin won in miraculous fashion. And you can kind of see on the Coinbase Econ report that his report quite good on account of he's getting a lot of kills. He's doing a hell of a lot of damage.
That head-to-head against Cloud is a pretty good result, accounting for many of Cloud's 9 deaths over that first half. Someone who was frankly taking the game over on Sunset. It was like 20 and 5 at some point. It was pretty absurd. You can see the spend to damage ratio is what gives Zekin such a high econ value. And again, it's tough not to point him as the protagonist on this map. 13 kills, 7 deaths after that first half, and a disgusting, what was it, 1v3, 1v4 moment from that round 11. Keeps them with their head above the surging tides.
And now Sen, they started this map winning the pistol and then winning the bonus. That gave them that early 4-round lead and all of the momentum. GX goes without saying, but they desperately need to win this second half pistol to stay in the game.
Less of a gamble stack approach here from Sen and more just distributed heavily in that A direction. The wrinkling here is actually going to be fruitful. They've got confirmation of at least one player pretty far into A long, and Ara has already set foot over the threshold of A.
Bang just ready to throw out that paranoia off some sound cues. Util exchanged, but no gunfire. Everyone's slowed down. Everyone's stalled out.
There's a lot of Util drawn out of the defenders, Wyatt. Larry here forced to fight. Westside will get away and avoid the shock dart reprisal. All of A main is populated by attackers.
Sen at the moment have not much reason to leave, though. At this noise cut, at this time, now they do. It's that B side that could be open, garage could be open, and GX have just picked the absolute perfect moment to get in, exactly as Sen give it up.
Or Sen picked the worst moment to give it up. It really depends how you want to look at
Glass half full, half empty. Yep. Depends on your point of view.
Well, I think either way it's about to be spilled over the cobblestones, Wyatt.
And now Flickless does have that fault line back, so he can throw that out towards main, stall out the Sen retake.
Narrate can't really drop out of heaven here. He is too low. And then having to play the retake after making the right call on the side, it's not too bad. Ara with the stopping power, a back truck. Deals with Zekin at least, but Zelsis is there. Narrate here from up on high. Judging the peasants, he will drop down onto the box, but makes some noise. He gets a bit of damage on Flickless, but not enough to write home about. And it's John Grabinho. 32 points of health left for the Moroccan mastermind. He needs to step up. He sees the shoulder of the Omen, but Grabinho doesn't give him enough to work with. GX, get that pistol locked up.
They needed it with absolute desperation, and they got it. Perfect timing window to get into the site. Sen were staying on A, they were staying on A, they were staying on A, and after enough noise cut, had to be concerned about that B side. The moment they leave, it's taken by GX. Flickless posts up in hell with that standard breach util, that line with the, where you can throw the fault line into spawn. And by the time Sen get in, numbers are depleted, and all Grabinho had to do was even just waste time, and they would have won that out in the 1v1 clutch. Or, of course, with the Outlaw. Always has it that second round.
And now, of course, we gamble stack. It looks like Westside and Cloud just down to Ghosts here to facilitate for their duelist. Be equipped as well as possible in the early stages. The double swing potential here as Narrate shows shoulder, but sees Ara coming. Might try and play off some of this util. And, well, the Outlaw does his job. Just flattens these underarmor targets. Westside, yes, that's nice.
And lovely little shot. That aftershock good as well to push Narrate out earlier. Fault line comes through a little bit too late, but yeah, don't think John will be getting away from this one.
And we call that taking responsibility for what we start. Ball basically chunked him down to minimal amounts of health. Zelsis here will look to simply exit the round, hoping to get some value, even trade himself up. Never not shilling. You got to respect it. Also the homage to Sufat BB, his quote-unquote boyfriend. As was discussed in the press conference, he expressed some, regret that Wolves couldn't be present here. And I think seeing how they showed up in Toronto, many of us would feel the same.
Just going to wait out to go down to the spike explosion unless maybe Aura does go towards that B side. Nope, just going to run towards spawn. Hold up, wait. Potential for an orb.
All right, makes it a noise. There it is, Elsis. Not too shabby. Nexus around with an orb. Ara down, but the Outlaw was given over to Flickless to preserve that. So no harm, no foul, really, if you're the attack side.
We just saw some good util here from GX. Nothing unbelievable, but just the standard ways of getting players out of those angles into the open sight lines all works out.
One enemy remaining.
As clean as they needed it to be, they saved the crucial guns. And now on this bonus, we're able to buy up a rifle for Aura, Guardian for Westside. All things considered, not too bad of a bonus buy here.
Cloud actually has the Outlaw this round. The solo A main player.
GX were showing some real desire to get into that B site, but they slow things down. John forced away.
There's a Nano Swarm in the default location that would also slow them up. I'm trying to get some early util out of Sentinels. It's never a bad call.
And you would imagine the alarm bot in that spot will often be broken by a shock dart from Cloud. That's usually the standard. Zekin does spot out Aura in Garage. GX are getting a lot of map control right now, but Aura goes down to Zelsis.
Yeah, just to send try and get 3 players on C. They've realized that they need to get in that B direction, and that's nice from Zek and Grabinho's. Mostly been good for their first one in this series.
Yeah, this is GX taking a lot of liberties on their bonus round. Going for some individual plays to turn the tides. Cloud going to be able to plant in this default spot, but now in the 3 versus 5, what can GX do realistically?
Only Bang and Zekin susceptible to the one shot from the Outlaw right now.
And of course,
play it safe.
You know, when you're retaking on this B side, that's where this Viper Wall can come in handy as well. It's just a natural smoke for main.
Narrate takes a hit for that, tries to get him through the wall. Flickless finds Zekin on the other side, getting in from the garage side of the map, and Zelsis will be slowed up to that effect as well. Caught in the fault line. But John says no more breach util, no more breach, in fact. Down Flickless, puts center the player advantage, but now they're going to deal with this setup from Cloud, and Bang was the only player not set up to deal with that. Defuse goes Zelsis, living dangerously and punished as Westside executes him with a pistol.
There is simply no way GX should be allowed to get away with a round win. 3 versus 5, they convert. Sen with better weapons coming into this. I mean, ambitious little spam from Narrate. Flickless is just open holding the angle. Zekin peeks out. Celsius wasn't ready to be there for a trade. A little miscommunication.
The Viper Wall's not in play because they're trying to fight out towards mid. You can't tell me your protocols for dealing with the post plant on B aren't ironclad at this point, at this level.
I guess in a way, there's some justice that both teams win the pistol and the bonus round. So it'll come down to honest gun rounds as to who will win this game out. Oh my gosh, nice shot from Aura, putting them in position to convert here.
Light armor gets you there. I am a little nervous as a representative of the North American region. I won't lie. Ara now with the scope weapon back to hand. He's already thinned out the herd of Sentinels players. Now we'll look to take that mid.
Thrown down top mid from Bang. Zekin working his way forward, wants to close the gap with that stinger, of course. No one actually in this B site. Drone over top will confirm that.
Bang got in.
Aura wants to just draw out a little attention, a little spam, maybe find out if someone was hiding wrapped around the drone's view.
This Gara spot's starting to become a little more relevant now, Wyatt. As is a commitment here by GX towards the B side of the map. Bang sees Ara coming a mile off and is able to down him. John, patient, collected. And he'll have himself a frag. Zekin now with that fast lane, trying to get in Grabinho's direction. It's a bit of wayward, ham-fisted. And Zelsis now finally on the wrap. This spike's headed on to B. They are going to end here. Westside though in a safe corner. Grabinho has the line covered and Zelsis only has a classic. This is looking terrible for Sentinels.
Zelsa's just no opportunity to upgrade that weapon. Flank from Westside was perfect. Bang does a great job backside getting that first kill, and then Zekin hit a really quality relay bolt that connected onto multiple players. How many times has Gravino got a stunned kill, by the way, in this series? It's like the third time we've seen him do that.
Yep. Well, considering he only needs one bullet to kill someone.
Yeah, just hit him in the head. Just don't miss.
Yeah, the guy has been very resilient to any form of disruption. And GX, honestly, like a decent pivot after things start to go a little haywire at B. They don't leave the site. Just a little reposition.
Bit of spam being exchanged. Cloud, if he can get this orb, is going to have the Hunter's Fury. So GX, they want to get that C-long control, smoke it off, make sure they have that tool.
Ara with a judge here.
And the overdrive, of course.
Yep.
So can just use both of them when he pleases. Aftershock to break a common turret position will do so. So that's some passive info gain that Sentinels would have had on B, now removed.
Yeah, now John has to watch it. Giving it to him. Okay. Ara says, well, that's maybe a little bit more than I expected. Ways from the fast lane and plays. He's got no interest in trying to recover that weapon. Overdrive will suffice for him late in the rounds when push ultimately comes to shove.
Now, what is the move? Paranoia and Breach Util used on A to try to draw these Sen players away from the C site, where GX are intending on going.
Westside knows he's going to get some action because the alarm bot is now no longer effective inside Garage. Zekin's got to take it up himself.
And Corbino, he had that from the shadow, so he can use that Paranoia on A and get right back to the pack on C. So they have full ready to get in that site. And they've got Westside, this late lurk through Garage. Flickless might even be a second player. Maybe Westside goes first, takes contact.
The timing here is beautiful. Westside so patient, so calculated. Emerges just as John had his back turned. Here come Giant Eggs. They are storming into the rest of the map. Looking really adaptable on this attack side.
Yeah, Giant X are always going to come in with some kind of cool set play around their ultimates. They've always got them. This time, it was working into C-Long, posting up Aura. You hate to re-clear a guy with a judge. That is miserable. But then from there, it's GX running their Omen, their Breach over towards A-Long. They use the stun, they use the Paranoia. They're drawing all that attention from the shadows. Gravino right back to C. They hit into that site with the Hunter's Fury. Every time GX have the ult rounds, they're always going to throw something unique at you. They're always going to have a cool set strat.
Timeout here called by Sentinels. They have the resources to have a modest buy coming into the next round, but it likely will feature some smattering of Guardians and maybe not full util. But this is about the round. This is as important as it gets for the North American squad. Can they reverse their fortunes now? Because so far they've struggled to really adapt to what GX are throwing at them. It's just a play style that they're a little unfamiliar with, as was evidenced with those 4 defense side rounds won by the EMEA squad.
I mean, they just get completely worked across the map. I mean, they absolutely bought into that fake. Zekin was in Garage, sure, but he's just smoked off. He can't do anything.
It's like GX are getting a lot of what they want here. The push up into Ara's position, free judge pick. It being on a Killjoy of all people, which meant that Westside could actually, pull a player into Garage, further thinning the defensive setup for Sentinels. Cannot afford to lose Senti so early.
Now, Sen, they have basically fully invested into this. Not the best weaponry, not the best armor either, but they do have this Viper's Pit to just control all of that short A side. And GX, they could just try to heavily index and fighting through long if they really want to get into A late into this round. And it does require the attention of a second Sen player to stay on A. Someone needs to be looking at long. John needs to know what's going on.
Yeah, you can't play off the site now.
Yeah, so Narrate has to be back A jump spotting for eternity, basically.
And I understand that Sentinels do not want to have to retake the A side of the map, but like you mentioned, it can leave them a little limited elsewhere. I mean, look at how passively Bang is holding B. Only the Killjoy util on the C side, but there's going to be early warning there, at least for Zelsis, who's not offered himself up as a free frag early. Alarmbot spotted out. They're going to accelerate into this. I don't know if the Sentinels can respond quickly enough. We're about to find out. Straight to the Nanoswarm they go. Some spray air out from Zelsis. Ara took a hit, but most of that is decay down from the Poison Orb. Westside, though, has eventually fallen. Zelsis, his spray through that smoke yields a kill.
Flickless quite low in HP as well, but one away from the Rolling Thunder. If there's a way that he can find a kill, that could certainly be enough to convert on this 4 versus 5.
Every other Sen player also one orb away from ultimate. They could rip that, but Ara
look
just
at
gets
that confidence.
Not allowed to swing into that as well. There's no response. Ara doesn't linger for long enough either way. Grabino in trouble though, getting hammered out by that molly. Flickless has to stand tall on the side. His teammate is on the other side of that smoke, so needs to ping them out.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're doing it again. Hunter's Fury.
I mean, surely Cloud doesn't repeat the Zekin from back here.
Doesn't quite have a bead drawn on the spike location. The smoke comes down.
And also, when I said, oh no, it was because Flickless used the ult, but he died before it went off, so he lost it.
Yep.
That is brutal.
I feel like that happened to Zekin a few rounds back. When he tried to pull out that overdrive and died.
Yeah, it did. But I mean, how it's more painful with the Rolling Thunder.
Oh yeah,
that is real rough for GX now.
6 snake bite in the corner. I think that forced.
Yeah, that forces Grabino out. Grabino out in the open. Yeah, he had a paranoia ready as well for the choke, but he just had to run out.
Not too shabby from Sentinels. That's the round they needed.
Maybe trying to make a GX-like play there for a second with Zekin pushing down Beard, but not going to happen.
All the KG util over at A, so Sentinels don't have to over-invest in holding that site right now. It looks like Yezelsis is going to drift off of it pretty early.
And I have a drone from Narrate that's going into A long. Is of course not going to spot anyone out, so they can definitely remain confident in just playing other sides of the map.
Yezelsis might be hoping for a lockdown mid-hit here to disrupt.
Yeah, and with this Zelsa's position, he's keeping the alarm bot online, and he's also in position for the lockdown if they need to retake on A. So Sen, they're just cool with playing over towards this C side. Second back site.
They might call for a Narrate Hunter's Fury here from Spawn. Zekin though holding on it. Might have heard this TP come in. There's Cloud spotted. Yep, Hunter's Fury going to come from the Spawn side. Grabino walks into the sight line of Zekin, reveals himself, even though it was John that took the kill. Now looking to anchor. This Hunter's Fury slows things up for GX, but they are committed to this site, and Zekin is more than happy to hear it. There's the step up from West side, and the anchors are down.
Recon broken. Sen trying to get back in while the spike is being planted.
They know he's going to be there
right now.
Shock dart though, not enough to clear him out. Narrate is down as Cloud just finds the timing to leave that corner. The lockdown is going to give that control back to the defenders. How deep into the site can they get?
Just going to come down to spam.
That's how we have our expectations set. Yeah, Sentinels don't have a lot to disrupt util-wise.
Cloud gets that Recon back, and the fault line is up.
Delta's lucky to be alive as he's able to get away. Recon doesn't reveal Bang, so he goes for it again. But look at the crosshair placement for Cloud. He basically knows exactly where Bang is, and they're waiting for Zelsis too. Every contingency accounted for GX. And an important conversion here in round number 19.
GX had a really quality second wave fight into backside. He was here with Westside, with Flickless, picking off that player towards Plat. Because initially it was Aura. He went in with one of those breach flashes, but goes down right away. Then there was a cage spawn. No one could flood, no one could help. Then they refight backside, claim the kills on the anchors. They force Sen into a bad economic spot.